Hi everybody, my name is Jeremy Siskind. I'm the author of books like Playing Solo Jazz Piano and the Jazz Piano Fundamentals series. Y está el autor en español de libros disponibles como Tocando Solo Jazz Piano y Fundamentos del Jazz Piano. And today I want to talk with you about modal shadings, okay? And this is one of those things that sounds maybe stupid or simple, but is potentially profound. Oh, that is the sloppiest underline. Here, we're going to make it official. Perfect. Okay. Modal shading. So here's the deal, is that you're probably familiar with scales and modes, and there's 7 notes to your traditional scale or mode. But one of the things that good and great modal players do is that they take different cross sections of those 7 notes. And like I said, in some ways this is really stupid. Of course, whenever you play a melody, you're taking some cross section of certain notes. But if we get intentional about this, we can create things that sound, in that category of a McCoy Tyner or a Chick Corea or maybe a Herbie Hancock. Of course, it's not that simple, but it's a good start. So what I want to show you is modal shadings based on 3, 4, 5, and 6 notes. And before I do this, let me give you an analogy for modal shading. So let's take this painting that's behind me. It's pretty cool. So now imagine if we took all of the green out of that painting. It would look pretty different, right? Or imagine if we only kept the red and purple in that painting. Or if we only kept the blue. It's still the same painting, but now by taking out some parts or by emphasizing some parts, now we're creating a different image. We're highlighting it in a different way. Same thing, that's what we're doing when we choose only certain parts of the mode to highlight, okay? We still have the Mona Lisa, but we only have the background of the Mona Lisa, right? Or we only have the greens, we only have the purples. So it's a way to play inside the changes, but really change that feeling of the mode. All right, let's get to it. No more delay. So let's take the mode, let's use F Mixolydian. So that's an F major scale with an E flat added. It's gonna be F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E flat. So first shading would be 3 notes. And there's different ways to do this, but the most important, common, historically relevant 3-note shading is going to be triads, which we're going to often call upper structures. Okay. And it's important when we think about upper structures that we don't think of the upper structure or the triad built on the root. In fact, that's not an upper structure. That's like a lower structure. It's not a real term. But I guess that would be the opposite of an upper structure. So, on this F Mixolydian, we'd probably think about C minor. We'd think about G minor, maybe B flat major, maybe D minor, right? And just start asking ourselves what different triads we can find. So let me show you. Let's see if you might be able to hear my cat in the background. Right, so there's that G minor triad. C minor. D minor. Surprisingly colorful and interesting to me. C minor, E flat major. E flat major. So now I'm thinking in triads rather than thinking about right, that's right. And Miles Davis, in his solo on So What, on Kind of Blue, famously plays a large section based on upper structures. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I should have come prepared, but I didn't. No. So what transcription is the thing I should have clicked on. So what transcription completed, right? So if you look at letter A here, it's a D minor, and he's emphasizing a C major chord. Right? So I'm not making this stuff up. This is how people actually improvise in modal settings. All right, 4 notes. So we kind of have 2 different directions we can go here. We have, on one hand, it could be 7th chords. This is just a different type of upper structure, right? So instead of thinking about just a 3-note triad, we're going to think of a 4-note 7th chord. So like within F Mixolydian, it could be G minor 7, C minor 7. Let's see, do we have any major 7? We have E flat major 7 in there. Generally, we're going to highlight D minor 7 would also be there. The traditional 7th chords, rather than like half diminished or diminished or I don't know, what minor major 7s, like those aren't impossible, but generally our ear is attracted to these more traditional 7th chords. So I could improvise using G minor 7. Let me turn chordy on here so you can see what I'm doing. There's a C minor 7. There's a major 7th I missed. B flat major 7. The other way that we can go in terms of a 4-note group, I talked about on this channel once before. This is a less kind of official recognized name, which is quadratonics. It's like pentatonics, but only 4 instead of 5. And the 2 most common versions I've heard of this are 1, 2, 3, 5 and 1, 3, 4, 5, generally within a major scale. Major scale. Okay, so for instance, within this F Mixolydian, it could be F, A, B flat, C is 1, 3, 4, 5, or G, F, G, A, C is 1, 2, 3, 5. I think I said that right. Or we could do it on B flat, right? B flat, C, D, F is 1, 2, 3, 5. B flat, D, E flat, F is 1, 3, 4, 5. Now these can certainly like work for minor chords too. We could do another major starting on E flat. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 5 in a minor key, 1, 2, 3, 5 in a minor key. Those majors though tend to have this like really attractive bright sound. So right. Very related to the pentatonic scale, which we're going to get to in a second, but just slightly different sound. Or interesting sound. And this is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but I was really tempted to play this one. Sorry, I'll go back to the other camera angle. And that E is certainly outside of that's C, E, F, G, if you're keeping track at home. And the E is very much outside of the F Mixolydian mode. But because that shape is so strong, because it's quadratonic shape, and because we really like, because 3 out of the 4 notes do fit with the mode, it kind of fits. And this is one way that we can play out. All right, 5 notes. The most obvious thing is the pentatonic scale, and we can create a lot of different pentatonic scales potentially, but man, there's nothing like that good old-fashioned major and minor pentatonic scale. And I say major and minor because these are 2 scales that have the same pitches. Within any mode of the major scale, you're going to find 3 sets of pitches that make up pentatonic scales. So here it's going to be B flat, E flat, and F if I've done my math right. So let's see. So B flat pentatonic. I'll link you to some other videos that I've done that talk more in detail about pentatonic scales. If this is new to you, there's E flat pentatonic, same as C minor. F pentatonic, same as D minor. And I didn't say that B flat pentatonic's the same as G minor. So, you could say that there's 3 major and 3 minor, but they're the same sets of notes. So these pentatonic scales are just a shape our ears love. They hold together really well. So we're at 5. Last one, 6. The most common thing that I hear is triad pairs. So 6 is double 3. So now we're going to take 2 different triads that don't share any pitches, and we're going to pair them together. And in particular, so any 2 adjacent triads within the scale can work as triad pairs. So for instance, F and G minor, I should say. Or B flat major and C minor. Right? But in particular, since we attracted to these major sounds, in any mode of the major scale, there's going to be, and also in any mode of the melodic minor scale, there's going to be 2 major triads right next to each other. So here it's going to be E flat and F. And we love highlighting these. Okay, so I hear some people talk about, there's 2 different ways we could look at this triad pair. One is that we can make a scale out of the 6 notes of the triad pairs. Okay, so we've got basically every note of that F mixolydian except for D. But I also like to think about actually highlighting those triads. Right, like actually playing those triads as units and alternating between them. So what do I want your takeaway to be here? Is that next time that you think about improvising over a mode and you're thinking, I'm playing the same thing, experiment. What are some 3-note, 4-note, 5-note, 6-note different cross sections that you could take? Take those as limitations and inspiration, right? What if I really focused on just playing triads? What if I really focused on playing pentatonic scales? And those are going to help to guide you towards some new discoveries within those modes. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this, Jazz Piano Fundamentals Book 2 would probably be a really good level. It talks about some of these sorts of things. So check that out. I'll send you a signed copy from my website. Another advantage of ordering from my website rather than Amazon is that you get both the PDF and the physical book if you order the physical book, whereas Amazon, you kind of have to choose. If you watch this whole way, why don't you say something about Picasso? Because we're talking about shading, and I'm thinking about his blue period. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.